What's up, guys? So I got a quick little Elvis news video for you here today, so you can keep up on Elvis top events and all that stuff without doing and digging the research for yourself. All right, so here's the first one. Just a few days ago, Paul McCartney said on a podcast just the other day, because he was promoting his new album that was coming out, he said he was asked who was the coolest person he's ever met. And he said basically, other than his wife, it'd have to be Elvis Presley. And at first I was like, yeah, man, that's cool. Paul McCartney giving Elvis credit, because, you know, these days you don't really hear Elvis getting a lot of press, a lot of good press, or basically any press for that matter. But Paul McCartney, you know, said, I would say Elvis was the second coolest person I met after my wife. But then he goes on to say, and some of you guys don't want to acknowledge this, but I made a video about a year ago about the Beatles mocking Elvis. Now I'm so just sick of hearing the Beatles mock Elvis. So Paul says something nice about Elvis, and then he goes on to say, but this was before the, Las Vegas Elvis jumpsuit, rhinestone Elvis. So this is when Elvis lived in Bel Air, and he was pretty cool back in that time. And I'm like, come on, man. You could have just left it at Elvis being, the second coolest person ever next to your wife. So we'll basically say it was number one, Elvis was. Then he's got to say, but yeah, this was before the rhinestone jumpsuit, dumb, corny Elvis. That's basically what was said. And, it just goes to show you, man, I don't know what it is, but the Beatles do not have much respect for Elvis post 50s. And, he did say something cool that I guess he thought the mid-60s Elvis, because they met in August of 1965. Mid-60s Elvis was cool. But, but it annoys me a little bit. And yeah, I know, a few of them said the 68 Special was cool. I know that George Harrison said that he met him in 72 at Madison Square Garden and he looked awesome. I know the Beatles, you guys are going to say, yeah, the Beatles loved and respected Elvis. Yeah, but guys, here we go again. It's the 50s Elvis that they love, okay? And they like him as a person, but they think, John Lennon said Elvis died after he got out of the army. Here Paul McCartney says that he was cool. This was the mid-60s. This wasn't, the Las Vegas jumpsuit rhinestone Elvis, okay? So meaning that's not the cool Elvis. And yeah, he's entitled to his own opinion, but it's just case in point of what I've said earlier. Another thing he did mention was in the mid-60s, Elvis put his gold-plated Cadillac out on tour in the U.S., and everybody flocked to it. And Paul McCartney said that was pretty cool. And that Elvis also, before I forget, was the inspiration behind their Sgt. Pepper album. And but all in all, I thought that was kind of cool. Here's the video. Here's the news. Paul McCartney kind of gives Elvis a backhanded compliment. I met him in the mid-60s. He was the coolest person I've ever met. But let's remember, this wasn't the 70s Elvis. Anyway, hate to leave it off on a bad note, but that's just my viewpoint on it. There's the Elvis news with what I have to think. Tell me what you think in the comments, and give this video a thumbs up. It helps to grow the channel, and we will talk to you next time.
It's just that we were making no comment. When Elvis died, people were harassing me in Tokyo for a comment. Well, I'll give it you now. He died when he went in the army. So, that's when they killed him. That's when they castrated him. So the rest of it was just a living death.